Well, today, Yuri Hudler has become a member of the Dallas Stars, and I welcome him to the team. Can he play goal? See, I want to be excited when somebody signs with Dallas. Signing Hudler means more depth. It means that Lindy Ruff is going to have 4 really good lines. And there's every reason in the world for me to be excited as a Dallas Stars fan this year that Dallas is going somewhere. I mean, look, I got an Ottawa hat on and an Islanders jersey. How much more excited could I be for Dallas? Anyways, Hudler's a good signing. It's value, $2 million. And for anybody who's a Canucks fan saying, "Oh, we could have given him $2 million," you probably could have, but he didn't want to go to Vancouver. See, Vancouver's in a rough spot right now. Vancouver is now one of those teams that players who want to win a cup won't go to because they're not up and coming. They're seen as on the downswing. And that's just how it is. Now, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, or whether other people are right or wrong, that is the external view of the Canucks. They're on the downswing. This is the same thing about a lot of teams that missed the playoffs last year. They're seen as on a down. And then there's some teams that are seen as building up to something. And Toronto is seen as building up to something. And it doesn't matter if we're wrong. It doesn't matter if everybody's wrong. All the pundits are full of crap because I always hear, well, the Leafs are always going to suck. Leafs are going to suck. Fine, okay. Let's say you're right. Right now, the optics are the Leafs have a promising future. Vancouver doesn't. But for a veteran like Hudler, he's trying to prove himself after last year was a down year. Dallas offers him an opportunity to at some point during the season play with guys like Spezza or Sagan, whether it's on a couple of shifts or a couple power plays, whatever it is, get a spark, get on a hot streak, and the next thing you know, when next summer rolls around, Hudler's coming off a 30-goal season, 57, 60, 65 points, whatever it is, and he can cash in and make a $5 million contract out of it. And maybe he wins a cup. I mean, Dallas, honestly, at this point, seem to be building a team that can win games 8-6, 9-7. I remember when Trevor Daley was traded to Chicago for Patrick Sharp. That was the comment I heard a lot, was, wait, Dallas doesn't need a forward. Why are they trading Daley? And then Chicago found out why Daley was available. Daley played very well for Pittsburgh, but he was more, I'm not going to say sheltered because he wasn't sheltered, but he was the member of a very good defense corps. He's just not a guy you can build around. So that was that. Something else that I'm reading today is Jay Bouwmeester is in, Duncan Keith is out. Yep, you're right. Obviously, this tournament is desperately wanted by the players. That's why I keep reading about everybody skipping it. There's been I think 4 or 5 guys that I've read that are out in injury subs, and it's like, okay, all right. And this is honestly how I see it. These are players who have nagging injuries that are saying, I want to be ready for October 15th. I want to be ready for the opening face-off of the hockey season. I'm not playing in this tournament and risking my chance to be their opening night. This cash grab, tournament is, going to be fun to watch, but it's a cash grab. This is not about crowning who the greatest country is, and I keep seeing that bloody commercial. Who owns hockey? And it's like, okay, really? You have to have a stupid catchphrase like that in a commercial? You couldn't come up with something better than who owns this game? Nobody owns hockey. Any predilection or any belief that Canada had that we owned this game was killed in 1972, before I was born. The idea that we dominated and will forever be the owners of the game died in 1972. Yeah, Canada won the tournament, but only just barely, and the Soviets scared the hell out of us. And then in the 80s, the Soviets straight up smacked Canada around at times. So, no, there's no one country that owns hockey. The Czechs won in Nagano. Hasek won a Nagano. But, very good team, and Czechs are, very good players. But this tournament's not about crowning the greatest country in the world. Because if it was, your all-star teams wouldn't be there. So it is a cash grab. All these pretty jerseys, and they are pretty. That USA jersey with that shield on the front, that's a beautiful shirt. Canada, I don't really like the Canada one, but I can see how the little maple leaf on the sleeves, that's kind of trendy, kind of cool. And I have a bad feeling. I looked at that Team Canada jersey and I was like, oh, shit. We're going back to the 90s, almost. We're not going to go back to the hypercolor blending that we had in the 90s, but if this is what Adidas has in mind for the NHL jerseys, we're gonna have little mini logos and shit, and we're gonna have like waves around the sleeves, and they're gonna try all kinds of new futuristic crap. That's my guess. Hey, Reebok put in the striping, and Coho and Pro Player, they had the weird, mixy jerseys. I've still got my German Calgary jersey and my Canucks red into black jersey. So don't tell me it can't happen, because it can. They're going to try some funky, weird things with these jerseys, and they'll probably do it to sneak ads on there without you noticing. This tournament is it to me, and after hearing the way Bettman talked about it, there was no, oh, we're excited to crown the greatest nation in hockey right now. It was all about, we're testing this and testing that, and oh no, we're not going to put ads on the jerseys. There was no talk of Canada versus USA, and I think that's what it's going to come down to. I wouldn't be surprised if the Americans win this tournament. Many more Canadians bow out, and it's, you're losing Duncan Keith and Jamie Benn, and it's like I said, and I said before this whole thing started, if I'm Carey Price and I want to be ready for the opening night of the season, and I'm having any pain at all, any lingering anything from last year's nagging injuries, I don't want to play in this tournament. I want to be the backup, because I want to be good to go on opening night. And it's not an insult to the tournament. It kind of is. But in reality, it is a compliment to just how important the hockey season in the NHL is. Because if the World Tournament was that important, then when the actual World Championships happened during the NHL playoffs, we'd shut her down for a week or two and send over the best players. Just shut her down. Just have the regular season end, send our best players over to this World Tournament because we have to win it for Canada or USA, and then they come home and then we start the playoffs. But we don't do that because the NHL is more important. I will watch, if Canada's going for gold medal at the World Championships, I'll watch it unless the playoffs are on. If it's on, if that gold medal game is on at the same time as a Stanley Cup playoff game involving a team I cheer for, I'm watching the playoffs. So, to me, this tournament, all it does is push back the regular season by 2 weeks, which ticks me off. The season's insufferable as it is in terms of it. We need less of an off season. I'm just kidding. The season extends way too long, and the off season is rough, but I have some concerns about the fact they're squashing this season down at all, because when they do it, players get hurt. It's part of the reason why, if the NHL says, well, we're not going to the next Winter Olympics, I'm okay with that. I'm honestly okay with that, because the squashed schedule, guys get hurt. So, I guess we'll see what happens with this tournament, but I really don't see. Okay, let's say Canada wins this tournament. We're not going to remember a couple years from now. Not really. It's not like the Olympics. And it's not like the Canada Cup in '87 when it was special and different and we were playing against Soviet players we didn't see all the time. That's part of the reason why I'm all for bringing in every country that plays hockey, because then we can see a bunch of players who, no, they don't play in the NHL. but they play together. Their national teams play together, and they'll play well. That's part of the reason why underdogs do so well at the Olympics. These guys play together all the time. This tournament atmosphere is not new to them. It's a bigger stage. But for the all-star teams from Canada, Russia, they haven't played together. They don't have the natural chemistry. So by the end of the tournament, they'll kill that team from Belarus or Latvia. But at the start of that tournament, you just never know. And that element isn't in this tournament. So it's hard for me to get excited about it. I could try, but I know I'm not buying any of the jerseys. The only one I look at and I say maybe is Sweden, and part of the reason is because it's a Sweden jersey. There's nothing really special done to it. The crowns have kind of this weird effect to them, the way they look, this swirling in the crowns. But other than that, they're just a Sweden jersey. There's nothing that makes them stand out above any other double IHF jersey that they've worn, and I like that. When I saw the Canada one, I thought that's kind of. I prefer the junior one, the brand new one they've got for the World Junior team. That's a fantastic jersey. There's a lot of black in it, though. I've always wondered about that. Like, is it standard for countries to add black to their jerseys if black's not in the flag? I don't often see that outside of Canada. I don't see the Americans putting a bunch of black on their jerseys. Just Canada's like, well, red and white's boring, so we're going to throw black into it. Why? Our country's colors are red and white. Make them red and white. But the junior jerseys have got black on the shoulders, so. But they're sharp. I will give them that. I think they could have gone with white shoulders and they'd be just as sharp. But I'm not the designer. But I think they look better than the World Cup jerseys, personally. Trust me. Okay, as a guy who went through the 80s and the 90s, what's cool and what you think is a nice looking jersey now, 20 years from now, could very well become as reviled as these. It can. Not often, but it can. Because if it's trendy, there's a lot of people who talk about San Jose, and they had a few games last year where they went back to their original jersey, which is a very clean, very sharp jersey. And right away, people are like, I don't know why they ever changed them. You know why? Because teal and that kind of color scheme was very big at the time they were an expansion team, and it went out of style. So when it went out of style, they changed their colors just a little bit. There's still teal in it. Teal's the dominant color, but the style has changed. Do I prefer the original? Yes. I actually prefer the original quite a bit. But I get it. Teams want to maximize jersey sales, merchandise sales, and they look and they go, well, that looks pretty dated, so we're going to go with something else. And, it's their right to do it as the billionaire owners and all the research and market people, and, who am I to say they're wrong? Somebody somewhere sat in a boardroom, looked at this and said, that's a sharp jersey. We're going to go with that. We need to get a college jersey. Dallas can't be the only one that has that. What, that logo? That thing that won 4 Stanley Cups? We'll just throw that on the shoulders. We'll make the shoulders gray. Yeah, we'll put gray. We'll have blue around the collar, a little bit of orange, and then it'll be black. Oh, the lettering? Yeah. Orange, white, and blue. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really good at this. And to really make it work, because we don't want to look stupid, the string's got to be white. Has to be. And trust me, it'll be fans will love it. And then it debuts on the ice, and somebody tries calling the designer of the jersey, and he probably won't answer his phone. He probably doesn't have a phone anymore. He's probably got no money. But all kidding aside, jerseys are a tricky thing, and teal was really the end thing. I remember the Charlotte Hornets. There were others. That was around the same time as San Diego. The San Diego Chargers went back to the powder blues. Love the powder blues. I honestly, the one NFL jersey that is a holy grail to me is the San Diego Chargers powder blues. I don't want a name on the back. Somebody asked yesterday that I don't put names on my jerseys. No, because it dates them. I would have Canucks jerseys with Courtnall on the back or Ronning, and it dates them. No Didick though. I don't think I'd have Gerald Diddick's name on the back of my jersey. I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. Although I could put him on the back of my Montreal jersey, my Islanders jersey, my Vancouver jersey. I think he finished in Dallas. I know he played in Phoenix. So yeah, I could take a bunch of my jerseys, just mail them off and put Didick on the back of them. But I don't think I'm going to do that. Yeah, for some reason my Montreal jersey's hanging out here on the couch too. This is the one I got for $40 because it's Gianta. So, anyways, I'm going to be previewing Arizona today, and I'm looking forward to this because Arizona has a lot of good things to talk about. Anaheim's almost comes across like a postmortem because the glory days seem like they're in the past for a lot of these guys, and there's a lot of uncertainty regarding the young guys. Especially, I'm not sold on Nick Ritchie. I'm just not. Nick Ritchie to me seems like the prototypical bust. Potential bust. Um, it just middling numbers all around, and I don't know if he's ever going to become what he was projected to be when he's drafted in the first round. I really don't. And this is the year where he's going to show whether he's got it or he doesn't. And if he doesn't, Anaheim will end up trading him because there's no point keeping him if he's not going to live up to his potential in Anaheim. And somebody somewhere will take a shot at him because of his physical game and because of his potential to develop into a really solid bottom six guy if he's not going to be your top six winger. Anyways, that's it for me. Oh, one last thing. Today in the mail, I got Orphan Black Season 4. This is a curious thing. My DVD collection has Season 1, Season 2, and Season 4. Where's Season 3, I might add? Season 3 sucked. By the end of Season 3, I started questioning whether or not I actually liked the show. Then the previews for Season 4 came out, and I laughed and I said, oh, so we're going to pretend Season 3 never happened. That's basically what it does. You can watch Seasons 1, 2, and 4 of Orphan Black, not watch Season 3, and you really miss nothing. And it's sad in a way because Ari Millen, who plays the male clones that are the center of attention in Season 3, Ari Millen's a good actor, but the clones of the male character, they're all shit. And the clones that Tatiana Maslany plays in Seasons 1, 3, and 4, they're fantastic. Each one has a completely different personality. Some of them are nice, some of them aren't. And Ari Millen, basically, they were varying levels of douchebag. So it's like, oh, it's another Castor clone. Wonder what kind of douchebag this is going to be. Oh, he's a creepy douchebag. Oh, this one, he's an asshole douchebag. Well, that's different than the creepy one. This one, he's a psychotic douchebag. Wow. I'm glad they're all douchebags. I can't wait to see how many of these clones there are. So yeah, Season 4, they've all magically disappeared except one. And he's a subservient douchebag. By the end of the season, you almost feel bad for him. But he's still a douchebag. Because deep down, he's a naive, subservient douchebag. Because he does D-bag things throughout the whole season. And then at the end, you're kind of like, oh, well, he didn't know better. But still, he's a douchebag. But she's fantastic. She really is. So for anybody who's looking for a show to watch, because it's the off season, and if you have Crave TV, or I think it's on Show Me as well. I don't have either of those services. I have Netflix. It's not on Netflix. But Orphan Black it's a really good show. I really enjoy it. Anyway, so that's my off the grid, not hockey related topic. Because there's not a lot of hockey to watch right now. And funny thing happened last night. This is sort of an off topic thing. I was wearing my new Islanders jersey, not this one, the other one. And I went to a 7-Eleven, and the girl behind the counter, who I kind of get the feeling flirts with me at times, she sees me wearing an Islanders jersey, and she goes, "Are they playing tonight?" And I looked at her, I said, "In August?" Like, I've given you an out here. And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I guess they would be playing." I'm like, "No." She's like, "But yeah, but they'd be getting ready for training camp, right?" And I'm like, "Not yet." She's like, "Well, it looks handsome on you." And I'm thinking, handsome? Okay. All right, I see. But every time I'm in there, she tries to make conversation and it comes across as awkward. And it's the opposite of what happens when I go to Lids and I deal with the girl there. And no, the girl from Lids wasn't there when I went and got this from Lids yesterday, so I don't have a story to tell at this point. Although she did dye her hair blonde, and I'll see if I can awkwardly compliment her on dyeing her hair. I'll see if I can do that. You know, maybe I'll pull my phone out and videotape it, and then she'll definitely kick me out of the store. Are you videotaping me? Yes. But yeah, so that's again, that's off topic, off to the side. Ignore all that. Uh, go Canucks, go! Go Bruins, go! Go Stars, go! Those are the teams I cheer for. I get that question at least once a day on a video somewhere. It seems I always get it. Who do you cheer for? I get that it's confusing. I get it because I tick off Ottawa Senators fans regularly, and yet here I am wearing my Senators hat proudly because I love this hat. All the hats that have, anytime you see me wearing the hat that has the name underneath, I love them all. Just, they're amazing. They're my favorites. As a kid, I would have had to have every team in the league with this hat. I would have. I would have bugged my mom to death about it. She wouldn't have bought them for me. I would have held the resentment until now, and I would have bought them myself, like I'm doing now. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will be back later with a preview of the Arizona Coyotes and what I think they're going to do this season, and whether or not they're going to change their jerseys again, because it's been a couple of years. They change them regularly, so we'll see. I don't know that changing jerseys makes your attendance numbers go up, but I will say that Arizona isn't quite the train wreck they were, and there's potential. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and I will talk to y'all soon.